And we have round 3 of the tournament here. This battle is going to be against minemaster05x. I actually know this guy. I actually seen him a lot in the Killer Nachos channel, streams, so to speak. And I'm actually surprised he actually participated in Tesla Mouse's tournaments, because I don't think usually people I see in Killer Nacho streams usually don't show up in Tesla Mouse's streams, like, at all. So also when I saw him in this in Tesla stream, I was like, holy shit, this guy's here. And I have battled him once in the past. He's actually really good. In fact, he can be very ridiculously good, or should I say obnoxiously good, but he's good nonetheless. And his team, holy shit, his team actually doesn't look that great. It looks very simple, but it's actually really dangerous. So I have to actually try to beat this guy if I actually want to make it to the semifinals. Actually, no, this is the semifinals. This is round 3. This is the semifinals, basically. And I meant the finals. And yeah, I think my team is kind of weak to some of the stuff in this team, though. It's either that or it outspeeds like that Mega Manetric, because I'm pretty sure that's the Mega, obviously. It's definitely not Mega Latios, because Mega Latios is sort of a liability when you compare it to Mega Manetric. But yeah, we're going to see what goes down in this battle. Because, yeah, I don't think things go the way I want them to in this battle. At least in some areas. I lead with Thunderous and he leads with Manaphy, so already the matchup looks very positive in my favor. So here, the one thing I wanted to do here was go for Volt Switch. I know he has a Landorus as a switch in, but you know, I always feel like they can't just switch out very easily. But instead I was gonna Volt Switch, but like I said, he had the Landity, so I went for Hidden Power Ice. This was actually super risky, because if he had just stayed in with Manaphy, he could have just Ice Beamed me. But I feel that the Thunderbolt was way too obvious as well, so I just went for a Hidden Power Ice. I actually two-shot that Latios, which is really crazy. And I'm actually glad, because I actually now have a lead here. He goes into Sly Sharp, which is the Bisharp, and this is actually, believe it or not, his signature, and maybe one day you'll find out why that is. But yeah, he goes into Sly Sharp. I switch out. I was thankful that he didn't have the Pursue, because otherwise he would have gotten some prior damage right there. He just went for the knockoff and knocked off my my leftovers, and I go for Substitute, because it's always good to be behind Substitute, and plus I kind of figured he would switch out. He went into Feng Shui though, which is the freaking Breloom, and I already mentioned that Brelooms are very annoying. Remember when I said that in the Killer Nachos battle that Breloom can actually scare the shit out of Zygarde? Well, here it is. He breaks the what's it called? The Substitute after 2 Bullet Seeds. So I was like, whoa. Because if I remember correctly, I think the one with the Killer Nacho, actually, it only broke after 3. This one broke after 2, and then proceeded to get more damage on my Zygarde, and basically left my Zygarde completely weakened. So I think I switch it out here. I force it out with a Dragon Tail, and I actually get him into the Mega Manetric, which was definitely not the freaking mon that I wanted to deal with. Because I know that these things now carry Hidden Power Ice, but my Zygarde was weakened anyway, so I figured, you know what, let's just let it go down. Because I don't want anything to take unnecessary damage. I didn't want him to predict either and go for like Thunderbolt or something. I go into Heat right now because it's a positive matchup, and if I can burn something on switching, that would be really good. He goes into Manaphy though, and this thing is actually the last thing that I wanted, because this thing can set up Rain Dance, and if I get the burn, it'll just lose it with the Rain Dance. So obviously I had to switch out here. Although as to what I switch into, that's actually a very good question. I don't. I actually freaking stay in, and because I felt that the Ice Beam was gonna come. So I go for the Stealth Rocks right away. Now here, this is where I felt like maybe I should have switched, but I kind of didn't, because again, I didn't want anything on my team to go for the I was considering switching into Weavile, but I didn't want this thing to predict that and just go for the Scald, because I didn't want this thing to freaking go for anything like too crazy. I didn't want my Weavile burned either, because Weavile can really come in handy in this battle. It can knock off a lot of things. I just went for Stone Edge on this thing for damage, and as you can see, that thing went for Scald, and it did over half to my Heat Ran. I also didn't know what kind of Manaphy this was either. I thought it was maybe a freaking tail glowing set, and I didn't want this thing to just set up. So if it was gonna set up anything, I was just gonna try to let this Heatran die. But he never went for Tail Glow. He just went for the Scald. He went for Ice Beam once to predict, and then he just went for Scald and the rest of it because he realized that I wasn't gonna switch out. He has leftovers on this Manaphy, which also gives me the idea that maybe this shit is Substitute with Ice Beam and Scald, and maybe even Rain Dance. I don't know. I go into Mega Diancie though here because this was actually super risky because I did not know if this thing was even gonna kill it or not. Cause what if it's Spadef invested? I stayed in just to get the Mega Evolution off though, cause yeah, and I wanted to see what else he can go for. He still goes for Scald, so yeah. And then I realized that maybe protecting was not a great idea, but I kind of needed to because I need that speed boost from Mega Diancie. Here I go for the Moonblast, and I was really hoping that I can actually get rid of the Manaphy, because it gets a crit, and I don't know if that crit actually mattered, but I was just glad that I got rid of the Manaphy, because honestly, I didn't want to deal with any of that scalding shit. I hate Manaphy sometimes too, because it's really annoying. It sets up once and then it starts to run house like crazy. I protect. Okay, here's where I make a very critical mistake here. I go for the protect, and the Landorus went for U-turn, and I thought, you know what, maybe this Landorus is Scarf because the majority of them are. So I went for the Moonblast, stayed in, and I did outspeed, which means it wasn't Scarfed, and it just goes for an Earthquake. It switched it up to Earthquake. I don't know what item this Landorus T had, but it freaking took a hit and it just killed my Diancie, and that's really bad, because honestly this was something I kind of needed for a switch in the Breloom, and also to do damage to the Slice Sharp, but now I literally got nothing. I lost whatever I had for Bisharp, and now I just have to go for this. I have to go for the Draco Meter. It's resisted, but this is all I have. I don't have HP Fire on this Latios. He goes for Pursuit, which, yeah, I mean, what can I do there? Like, I was actually expecting Pursuit a long time ago from this Slice Sharp. When it first came out, I thought that was the first thing it was gonna do, and I switched out my Thundurus, but he didn't go for it then. Now he goes for Knockoff, and I was like, ugh, would I even be able to take it? Nope. Even though I wasn't carrying any more items, the fact that its stab was enough to KO it, and on top of that, my Latios was offensive as well, I think. I go into Weavile now, and I was gonna go for the low kick just to finish it off, but he actually saw that coming, and he actually switched out, and I was like, oh my god, that was terrible. He didn't get the Intimidate on this Landorus switch because it died to Rocks, thankfully, but I was already put in a tight spot here because he sends out this thing, which also carries Intimidate, which is really annoying. He has a freaking dual Intimidate team here. If I had something with Defiant on this team, I would have been in a very good position. In fact, if I had used a Bisharp myself with Defiant or even Braviary, I would have been able to freaking give this guy the whooping. But yeah, here I switch into this thing, and he goes for Flamethrower, and I was like, oh, okay then. Yeah, because I was hoping he would go for Volt Switch, but he didn't. He went for Flamethrower and then just Hard Switch into Slice Sharp. I went for the Hidden Power Ice here because I don't know why I went for that. Because the Lando T is clearly gone. I could definitely go for Thunderbolts. I guess I was afraid of the Breloom switching, but I honestly, I feel like I shouldn't have gone for that. I really should have just gone for Thunderbolt. Because Thunderbolt, yeah, and I still had Weavile, which I could have Ice Sharded. So I don't know why I went for Hidden Power Ice of all things there. These were his last 3 mons. Breloom, the Bisharp, and the Mega Manectric. I don't know what was going into my mind, but I just lost freaking Thundurus right there with a Sucker Punch. I think I played a little bit sloppy here too, but I mean, what can you do? It's a tournament. Like, there's a lot of tension that you kind of just stress out a little bit, and then you can sometimes even choke. I've already mentioned or demonstrated how I've choked him many times. Even for regular battles, I just still choke. Anyways, I go into Weavile, take out his Bisharp, but he still has this thing which has Intimidate up, and on top of that it has Flamethrower, and this one was actually enough to kill my Weavile, which was unfortunate. And this means that, yeah, I kind of now lose, which means, am I out of the tournament? Well, not yet actually, because in Tesla's tournament there was actually a, by the way, that was a good game, to minemaster05x, but there was like a extra feature that Tesla added into the tournament, and that was the bronze match feature, which allowed it to have both losers of the semifinals battle each other, and whoever wins would get third place. That's basically what I got myself into. Because I lost to Minemaster, I had to well, it was actually optional. It was optional if I wanted to do the bronze match or not. But if I decided not to do it, I'd basically take fourth place. And if neither of us accepted, then it would just be a tie in third place. But we kind of wanted to try it out, see who would get third place. So yeah, so I have to now go up against the loser of the other side of the bracket of the semifinals. So yeah, and just stay tuned for that to see what the outcome of that will be. And once again, good game to minemaster05x. His playstyle is obnoxiously good, but holy shit, I mean, it's very, very commendable nonetheless. So yeah, good game, and stay tuned for the next battle, which will be pretty much the last battle of the tournament, because that's going to decide whether I can actually get third place or not. At least I'll be high ranked if I do get the desired result, which is to win, basically. But yeah, take it easy now.